Hey again, everyone. Welcome to the round 2 player ratings video. I'm a little bit more awake for this one. Still as devastated, if I'm honest. Still as broken. I'm not going to watch that again. Not going to lie to you all. I like to watch them again before I do the ratings. But not today. I just can't bring myself to watch that game again. I really can't. For those of you who've never watched a player ratings video, I like to just start the conversation about how we felt each player played. It's not right, it's not wrong. I just start the conversation. I give the players a rating out of 10 based on their role in the team, their standing in the team, and how they executed that on the day, or in this case on the night during the game. And then you guys finish the ratings in the comments. I will have a live weekly tally that gets updated every week with the scores. And if you have a case to make for one of the scores being higher or lower that I've given, just put it in the comments below and I'll make that adjustment. But let's get going. We don't want to waste any time. We want to have this round over and done with as soon as we possibly can. But it does really just give us closure for the therapy after a bad loss. So let's start in the back line. Doherty, Jones, Plowman. Doherty, he's had 24 touches, gone at 87% disposal efficiency, taken 9 marks. Unfortunately, Doherty's in a situation where the 3 clangers that he's actually had are the ones that stick out because they all came under pressure. It's hard because he's a captain of the football club, and therefore the pressure comes on. And when he executes a kick, you don't really give him praise. However, when he doesn't execute a kick, you jump on him extra, and I felt that with him. He had 528 metres gained. When you look at his game in that regard, I mean, I say he's done his job. He's done his, he's got a pass mark minimum, but it's the value of him, the value of the possession under pressure is where I think the sticking point is with Doc, and for whatever reason, he's not executing under heat. I did give him a 6 for his game. I understand that a lot of people will look at those mistakes that he made, those kicks out in the full, just deflating, especially from the captain. But looking at his game at a whole, on a high level, he works hard, gets in position, sets us up. So anyway, it's a 6 for me. You let me know what you think. Jones, gave him a 4. He was part of a defensive 6 that was just beaten. I know the midfield didn't help, but I gave him a 4. I don't think he has started the season very well at all. He doesn't look sharp. He looked really sharp against St Kilda in that Community Series game. He hasn't looked sharp in the first 2 games. I couldn't give him a pass mark, so it's a 4. Plowman, fuck. Well, I gave him a 2. His first half was poor. I remember a couple, he was basically getting outmarked on the lead quite a few times. And I remember the first few happened and I started saying, well, what's he supposed to do? The ball's a perfect kick. The midfield's not putting on enough pressure. But then it just got to, 4 goals, 5 goals, 6 goals, 7 goals kicked in a fucking half of football on one bloke. And the reason why I gave him a 2, the best way I can describe it is, he played a lot better in the second half. He played with that desperation and hunger. And if you guys watched the fan cams last year, Rocco came on one time and he asked me, Terry, reach out your hand, as high as you can. And so I did. And then he said, okay, do it again, but I want you to go higher. And so I did. And the message was, hang on, I told you to reach out your hand as high as you could the first time. And that's kind of what it felt like with Lockie Plowman. Why didn't he come out with the desperation in the second half that he had in the first half? And now there's this story that's emerging about him laughing with De Goey and the fans in the cheer squad telling him to stop laughing, or that it wasn't funny, and then him looking at the fans and laughing at them. And, I remember a few years back when Jones was concussed, 2019, we played North Melbourne, and I remember seeing Lockie Plowman smiling on camera. I wasn't at the game, I was watching from overseas, and I remember absolutely lashing into him, and it was probably one of my biggest lessons in doing this channel, and how to talk about players and show respect. And I went off at him and apologise and all of that. But I remember getting a lot of heat for it at the time because I was told that Lockie Plowman might have a coping mechanism that's different to others. I'm sorry, but I don't want my leadership group smiling with other players, particularly Collingwood players, after the game, smiling. It just makes me feel as a fan like there's no care factor. It's just a game. It's just footy. It's not about winning. It's about having fun. And I just don't like it. I personally don't like it. I don't know about you guys, but I gave him a 2. That was really poor, and I'm really disappointed in how he played. Next line, Sard, Wiedering, Williamson. Sard, I felt like we didn't put him in a position to succeed. You know, I felt like he kind of did his job. He's had 585 metres gained. He's had his 23 touches. Just felt like we didn't put him in a position to succeed. The way where we were giving him the ball was putting him in a compromising position. And I don't know if that was the way Collingwood set up or if it was just the way that we were playing. I think it's a mixture of both. But I gave Sard a 6. I'm really struggling to give any of these players more than a 6, if I'm honest, just because I'm just so angry at them all. But you let me know what you think. Wiedering, I gave Wiedering a pass mark, just a 5. That might be a little harsh. I don't know. But again, I'm punishing the defenders for being a group and failing on the night. I'm punishing them all. But we've conceded 106 points in the game and 26 scoring shots. So Wiedering, he was solid at times. He got beaten at times, but overall he was better than what he wasn't. And overall, I gave him a pass mark for his game. Willow, can someone tell me what's happened to Tom Williamson, please? Can somebody please explain to me what has happened to Willow? He looked really, really sharp in the Essendon preseason game. He looked a little sluggish in the St Kilda Community Series game. I remember speaking to him at the season preview. He happy, confident, ready to go. He has looked like a shell of what we saw last year in the first 2 games. So I gave him a 2. Like, I just didn't see him impact anywhere last night. What's he had for the game? He's had 5 touches. I mean, he's got to be winning more of the ball. He's got to be using more intensity. He's got to be tackling more. These are the things that I love Tom Williamson for, and I didn't see that last night. So I gave Willow a 2. Again, let me know what you think. Next line is Setterfield, Cripps, Noons. Setterfield, I asked the question about Willow. I'm going to ask the same question about Will Setterfield. Can somebody please explain to me what has happened to Will Setterfield? Where is he gone? I know that he's been moved onto a wing. He's given us 9 touches. Lockie O'Brien does the same thing last week. He gets dropped. I would expect the same stance on Will Setterfield. What's going on? Like, what happened? Good players find a way. I thought he lifted somewhat at stages in that 4th quarter. Intercepted a mark at one point on the wing, but I'm reaching for something here. I gave him a 2. He's so much better than that. They're all a lot better than what I'm giving them, but Will Setterfield for me was a real disappointing one because I'm expecting him to take that next step. So gave him a 2. Cripps, fuck. Could someone tell me what's happened to Patrick Cripps? I've heard a few things about the game's changed, less stoppages, therefore Cripps can't influence. He looks like a 6'4" Matt Priddis. The kicking game isn't really there. It's not his strength, so that's okay. The handball game is sloppy at times. Captain of the football club. I didn't see enough personally from the skipper. I'm hoping he's not injured. We did this last year with him and he ended up being injured. He looks healthy. I don't know. Is there something going on in his head? Is he distracted? Is something going on at home? That's why you always want to be careful. He hasn't signed his contract. The pressure's building. And I'll be honest with you, it was the first time in this whole contract discussion where I said, oh shit, he's checked out. Not checked out. I don't want to label it like he's checked out. So it was just more signs of, where's the Patrick Cripps of 2019 and before, where it was like he would lift and lift, and I get it, everyone around him has gotten better, but he still needs to be playing at a high level, and I don't see that from him right now. Is he adjusting to putting the weight back on? I don't know. There's a lot of unknown with Cripper. I don't know what's going on. It's weird. So I gave him a 4. I couldn't give him a pass mark personally, but we'll see what you think. Noons, a job doer, one of a few in the team that I enjoy watching because of their effort. He's had 16 touches, taken 5 marks. Didn't lay a tackle, which was disappointing. That's something he's pretty good at doing. Look, again, relative to the context of his standing in the team and his role, I'm just giving him a pass mark. I don't expect much more than that from him. Obviously, last week he has 27 touches and 10 marks. I give him a 10. And that's because it's over and above what I expect from him and his role in the team. So I gave Noonsy just a bare pass mark. Next line, Fogarty, Makai, Fisher. You know what? These three are the only ones, and maybe Jack Martin, that made me smile. And there you go. There it is. They made me really happy. Fogarty... This is what I think about Fogs, right? So he plays the game the right way. He's tough. He's clean and he's classy, and it's probably because he hasn't grown up in a Carlton Football Club system. He's come from the Geelong factory. I just hope that he doesn't get, stained with the Carlton Football Club entitlement that the rest of these players get. I just loved the way he went about it. He had 21 touches, kicked a goal, was tough. There was a key contest. I think it might have been in the third, maybe the fourth. Just went really hard at three guys, came out in space. And, the harder you go, the more you're rewarded in this sport. The game requires you to be a tough human in contest. And I thought he was fantastic. Stoked to have him at the club. Really impressed with what I've seen in the first two games of his Carlton experience. I gave him a 9, and again, very, very hard to give many of these players praise, but I think Fogarty deserved it. Harry Makai, I gave him an 8. I put the challenge on him last week. I thought he played a mature game. Darcy Moore is not just the best defender in the league. He might be one of the top 5 players in the league. Genuinely, I really mean that. Darcy Moore is next level. And I thought he got on top in the first half. And then the fact that Harry's kicked 4 goals, and 4 goals straight. And he's gone back. He's kicked goals. He's had the set shot routine. He didn't do any of these, play on around the body. He's backed himself in. So I'm going to give Harry an 8. Probably because I put the pressure on him. Also, he plays 50th game. But anytime Harry's kicking 4 goals, that's well and truly his job. So I can't really ask for much more from Harry, considering how the ball was coming in there as well. So an 8 that's where I'll start it. Fish, I loved Fish's game as well. I thought he had 16 touches, kicked a goal. That's his job. That's kind of whereabouts that I'm expecting from him. 16 to 18, like 15 to 18 touches, a goal, maybe 2 a game. Quick feet, quick in traffic. I gave him a 7. I think that might be a little lean, maybe an 8. I don't know. I'll leave that with you, but I'll start it as a 7. But I thought he played his role and did his job. So really, really enjoyed watching him play. Next up, Murphy, Casbolt, Martin. Murphy copped a lot of heat from the fans last night, and I know I am a Mark Murphy fan, a big Mark Murphy fan. I let him have it last week. I thought he was much better than last week. Much better. He's a guy now that falls into that role player category for me. So I'm looking at, he's playing in that half forward role. I'm looking at that 16 to 20 touches and hopefully a goal a game. That's the kind of image I have in my head of what would I like to see from Murph now. He's had the 18 touches, gone at 83%. He's kicked it behind. He's laid a tackle. I just didn't think he was as bad as what the reaction was. I gave him a 6, just above a pass mark. I thought he was far from our worst. So you let me know what you think about that. Casbolt. Fuck. I gave him a 2. Just last week it was, he looked underdone. Is he underdone still? Is he still not ready? Is he injured? If he is, why is he playing? I know people were saying, why didn't we pick Oscar McDonald over Levi? But I'm thinking about it. You back Levi in. He's a senior player at this football club. Oscar McDonald's just come to the club. I kind of get why they picked Casbolt over McDonald. But now that we've seen these 2 games from Casbolt, I believe it's time to make a change. So he was just nowhere near it. No impact. It really just started in the first quarter. First shot of the game. Out in the full. Shanked it. I don't understand how you can be of that age and that experience in this league at this football club and still shank the ball like that. I don't understand it. I really don't. I guess I never played at the league at the level, so I'll never understand it. But it's just hard to watch. So I gave him a 2. Jack Martin, he had a burst, he had a quarter, but gee, it was a good quarter. Kicked 3 goals. He's had 12 touches, taken 7 marks. was tough in certain contests as well, which was something we sorely missed. And I thought he played his role and then some. I gave him an 8. I don't know if that's too much given the context of the entire game, because he was very patchy. But again, his role in the team, he kicked 3 goals. I'm very happy with him. Next up is Pitternet, Walsh and Williams. Pitto, he's there to compete. Not there. I wasn't there last night to watch him beat Grundy. I was there to watch him compete. Having said that, he's allowed Grundy to have 51 hitouts to his 21. He was a lone job, tough gig, really tough gig. Grundy coming off a week where he was criticised as well. I gave him a 6. Kicked a goal as well. Almost kicked 2. Probably should have kicked 2, but gave him a 6. Walsh, he's our best player. Said it last week, and I was reaffirmed for myself last night. He's our best player now. I thought he just kept going. He's in his 3rd year now, so I still take that into account. He's at 29 touches. He's gone at 86% disposal efficiency. And I just thought he just kept willing himself. So I gave him a 7. That might be a little lean. I'll leave it as a 7 and see what you think. I'm thinking that might be a little lean, but we'll see what you say. Zach Williams, first game for the club, the big signing. He started off really well. He hit up somebody in that forward line with his first kick. It was beautiful. I think it might have been Jack Martin. That's right. And just didn't continue on with it to the way I would have loved to have seen. He ended up with a 20. I'm looking at 25 minimum for Williams every week. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Is it all about possessions? No. He's also there to help us at stoppage and have clearances and win the ball there. And he did that, 10 clearances. The one thing that really hurts him is he's I call it the Ed Kerno trait. He just bangs it on the boot at times. He's had 7 clangers, which is no good. Not very good, but yeah, I mean, I've seen him play better. I know he will be better for the run, and he's going to settle into this team and get better as well. So I gave him a 6 for his game. He definitely got a pass mark, but obviously there's a little bit more expectation on a guy like him because of his talent, because of what we've invested to bring him into the club. So yeah, he'll get better from that. Interchange bench: Dow, Samo, Ed Kerno, Gibbons. Dow. It was the deer in the headlights type situation again. Just the occasion was a little too much, it seemed. I didn't think he impacted too much. He tried, but just I couldn't find a way to give that a pass mark, so I gave him a 4. Samo, I actually thought Samo played pretty well. I thought from where I was watching, I thought he played pretty well. I watched him very closely just for his work rate around the ground, and he did pick it up. He did get himself out of some tricky situations. I don't think it was as bad as what some of the fans have expressed to me. Found a way to give him a 6. Let me know what you think. Ed Kerno also found a way to give him a 6. He's had the 21, 5 tackles. He finds the minimum standard when he's not having an outstanding game. He finds a way to have a minimum standard. So I thought it was a little bit above a pass mark, just the way he competed. So a 6 I felt was necessary. And then Gibbo. Fucking love Gibbo. Love him. I've always been a fan of his. I've always said he needs to be in the 22. I've got no idea why he didn't play against St Kilda in that community series match. He should always be in the 22, represented in the 22, because he plays without entitlement. He plays like a guy that's had to do it the hard way, not a guy that's been patted on the back his whole life. And I'm happy for him. First and foremost, happy for him. He wouldn't be happy with the result, but I love him in the team, and I think he needs to stay in the team. I even think he needs to be put on the ball as well for more periods of time. But good players find a way. We can talk about a lot of players being out of position, but good players find a way to impact games. Michael Gibbons is being played out of position. He's not a forward. He's a midfielder, but he finds a way to impact. So I gave him a 9. I mean, he's kicked 3. He's had 15 and kicked 3. That's as good as you'll get from him playing that role, I think. So, yeah. Those are the player ratings. I cut them short. I didn't want to take too much time. It's tough. It's been a tough round, tough one to watch. But I really do want to get your feedback and be practical with it as well. So let me know what you think in the comments below about the ratings. I will make the adjustments after I've seen your comments, and I'll filter through them, and then I'll put the link in the description after about a day or two of the video coming out. And then we'll go from there, guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Hopefully we're better next week. Go the Mighty Blues.